Everybody overreacts here, and guess what? No one's gonna know how to drive for like the... Wait, hold on.
Yo, I was about to complain about people not knowing how to drive whenever it drizzles here, but look at that rainbow, dude. That makes it so worth it.
Let me make sure I don't drop the camera. You guys can see me. Okay, I want to thank all of you for being so damn nice to me over the last few uploads on this channel, because let's face it, the content that I've spoken about recently has not really been wristwatch based, right? It's been me kind of sharing what I've been going through. It's feelings of suffering, pain. It's kind of dramatic, heavy stuff, right? And for you, a group of people who have maybe never met me in life, a group of people who've just subscribed to my channel to watch me talk about wristwatches, to have you guys hear what I'm going through and still rally the troops and circle the wagons, and again, be just so kind and supportive. It shows me that not only am I incredibly lucky, but like I'm not as isolated or as alone as I thought I was throughout this whole process. And so if you've ever felt isolated or alone, or if you currently feel isolated or alone, if you never watch a single other video from me, please watch this video because it's for you. We're supposed to get like crazy rain in SoCal finally. We haven't gotten any rain in like a year or something. So I'm wearing my SBBN 031 tuna, but I don't know if you can see, like, it's like nothing. It's like drizzle. Everybody overreacts here, and guess what? No one's gonna know how to drive for like the... Wait, hold on.
Yo, I was about to complain about people not knowing how to drive whenever it drizzles here, but look at that rainbow, dude. That makes it so worth it.
So jokes aside, most of the time on this channel, I spend a lot of time talking about time, or at least the accuracy with which wristwatches can tell time. Got to be a better way to say that. Okay, so I've mentioned a few times already, I am wearing this Seiko Tuna SBBN 031 with its 7C46 movement. And listen, I think that movement is overbuilt. I think this watch as a whole is over-spec'd. I think it's super robust. I think the movement is very tough and accurate. But there's one thing that I know for sure, okay? And here's where we get to brass tacks, so to speak. It's that regardless of which wristwatch you wear, even if you don't wear a wristwatch at all, it's that time will move on, okay? With or without you. And that's kind of a scary thought, right? This function of life that you can't slow down, you can't speed up, you can't pause, you can't repeat. It just keeps moving. And that's why, as a human being, with all the things we have to deal with and experience, and as we try to learn and progress, time keeps moving regardless of what you're going through. So it's not a big surprise that at some point you're going to feel isolated. But there's a misconception about isolation. Okay, isolation isn't other people leaving you behind. It's more like life keeps going on and you just can't keep up. Real quick, it's a day later, but we did finally get the rain, so that's exciting. I want to show you something really cool. These aux beam pods that I run, look at how badass those things are. So you don't have to run the full brightness, you can run those amber running lights. They look really badass. Nice little truck. Anyway, speaking of life leaving you behind, right? There's a million reasons why that might happen. Now, for me, it was much more subtle. It was quieter. It was almost polite in a way. It wasn't like my friends and family just decided to cut me off once and for all. I'll give you a first world example, okay? Porsche Club. I used to meet with these guys every weekend since I got my 911. So like the tail end of the pandemic, right? Those dudes stopped calling me, and it's not like they did it because they disliked me and they turned their backs on me. It's because I couldn't drive, and they didn't want to make me feel bad by consistently asking me to show up to these meets and these, you know, drives and these rallies, because they knew that I couldn't do it, and it was just kind of, I don't know, rough having to ask me just for me to say, nah, I can't, I'm not healthy enough, blah, blah, blah. I don't blame them. Or like my gym crew, my training partners that I've had forever. These are dudes that I would hang out with like outside of the gym, like regularly. These are people that I knew long before I even met Sammy. And yeah, they are consistently hitting PRs. They're growing closer. They are training still with each other day in and day out. And I'm sure they have a bunch of new inside jokes and everything. And it's, again, not that they did something wrong. These people are living their lives as they should. No one in my life was being cruel or malicious. My gym bros, my Porsche Club bros, again, they're doing everything they're supposed to do, and I love them for it. And they're still great guys, and they still do check in on me once in a while, and I love them for that. But it's almost like time doesn't move the same way for them as it does for me. Or maybe it does. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe time moves the same for all of us, and it's just that I'm the one stuck in place. And things just keep going on. And that's kind of what I'm getting at here. It's that isolation isn't only about losing people. It's about losing your place in the world. And the hardest part is that eventually, as it happens long enough, you start wondering if you ever belonged in the first place. And that's the slippery slope, my friend. Because hear me out, most of us are way too critical of ourselves as it is. So now you're broken in some way. Now you might be injured. Now you're isolated. So multiply that self-doubt. Multiply that criticism of yourself. And multiply that self-loathing in a way. Now you're thinking, maybe the part of me that these people liked in the first place broke when I did. Maybe there's really nothing left worth coming back to for them. Maybe I deserve to be here. Because all these people that I loved to hang out with, all these people that were super important to me, that are still super important to me, are all making new memories. They're all building lives for themselves. They're all doing the things we all used to do. I'm just not there anymore. But my life is just pain, pills, medical appointments, poor sleep, more pain, more pills, more medical appointments, and just rinse and repeat. So yeah, who would want to hang out with me, right? Like, who would want to be a part of that? But listen, guys, I'm going to fill you in on a little secret, okay? Isolation wasn't the enemy at all. This whole time, isolation was a forge. Just stay with me. Isolation burned away everything I used to hide behind. My hobbies, my status, my community, my friends even. And yeah, it did leave me alone. Or maybe it just gave me time to focus. It forced me to confront certain things that I didn't even want to face, like even when I was healthy. And it gave me the opportunity to rebuild myself without the applause, without the comfort of other people helping me along, without the camaraderie that I thought that I really, really needed and what I look forward to having in the future. Isolation forced me to ask the same question that every man will eventually have to confront at some point, which is, who am I when no one's watching? And if you can sit in that silence and think about that question and answer it honestly, then even if you've broken, you've earned your right to rise. So in the last episode, we accepted the fall. But in this episode, we've mastered isolation. You are not alone.